You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Welcome to the home stretch. I am your host, Tyler Harrison, along with my co-host slash producer, Speedy Petey, and along with Mike, the B. Eilers. This is the hardest show I've ever had to do. I'm putting that out there right now. Over the weekend, Sunday morning, West Coast time, the horrific news had come out that there was a 9-passenger plane crash that no one survived in California. I'm about to read you all the names of the victims. And let me just preface this. This is a tribute show. I'm not doing Around the World in Sports because this is not a sports show today. I think, to be quite honest with you, sports could be the furthest thing from everyone's mind right now. And I think that is quite clear.
But you have to respect what the players did on the court, the players that played.
And that's fine. I know a lot of people make the argument of and I'll even take this a step further before we get into everything because the computer's acting really stupid right now. But before we get into everything, let me put this perfectly clear. There's only one game that should have been canceled, and it's the game they did cancel.
Yes, they got that right. Yep.
Every other game should have been played. I get every fan base mourned for Kobe because of who he was and the star power he had,
But I'm sure the type of person that Kobe was, he wanted them to go out there and play anyways.
Easily.
Yes.
So.
You're 100% right. However, that Laker game and that Clipper game, there's no way that would have been a competitive basketball. Kobe wanted
100%.
And so for that, I think Kobe would have understood why they canceled the game.
Absolutely.
Because if you're not going to play your best, then what the hell are you doing on the floor is what Kobe would say. So I agree with the NBA canceling the game.
100%.
We're going to talk about all the things that I've heard over the past few days. I've listened to everything. I've listened to absolutely everything, except actually, believe it or not, this network. Because if there would, I would have lost my mind.
Nobody said anything bad.
I would have lost my mind. But again, we'll get to that in a second. Sarah Chester, 45 years old. Peyton Chester, 13 years old. That was rough. That was even rough. Ara Zaban, 50 years old.
I think that was the pilot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and there we go. We lost it. Yep. Christina Mueller. Is that how you pronounce her name?
I think it's Mueller.
Christina Mueller.
And I think she was a Mamba Academy coach.
Yes, she was.
Yeah.
Yes. And then here comes the hard part again. Oh, it's Mouser.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So both of us are idiots. Christina Mouser, 38 years old. John, Kerry, and Alyssa Altabelli, 56, 46, and 13 years old. Gianna Gigi Bryant,
That just kills me.
13 years old. Kobe Bean Bryant, 41 years old. I'm going to be completely honest with everybody. This is hard. This is hard for me.
Very hard. very hard.
And I get it. I understand. I even understand the people that are like, get over it. He's a basketball player. I'm going to tell you one thing right now. If you say a shallow statement like that, I'm sorry to cut you off, but if you say something shallow like that, he was a basketball player to me and you. He's a husband to somebody. He's a father to 3 other people. He is a son to 2 other people. He's a friend and a brother to countless people. To say he's just a basketball player and to say that these other lives were just non-celebrities, to me, is a shallow, awful thing to say. I'll be honest. I woke up on Sunday in a bad mood as it was. Sunday is my mom's birthday. So I was already kind of off. Full disclosure, I teared up a few times. And I found out this. I said no. This ain't right.
Yep.
No, this is not true. Mind you, LeBron James on Saturday night in Philadelphia, Kobe's hometown, or where he grew up, because his hometown's in Italy somewhere. He passed Kobe on the all-time scoring list. At 8:30 Pacific time, reached out to Shaq's son to say, hey, you all right? You need help? Shaq's son was like, no, I'm just working on a few things, figure out what I got to do to improve, but how are you? The immediate question everyone has is, why did they fly the plane? My GM is a pilot. He said there's no way he should have drove that plane. Kobe Bryant got special privilege for that flight. If you listen to, I don't know why I'm sick, okay? I have to know things. If I don't listen to things or if I don't watch things, I feel like I'm missing part of the puzzle. So yes, I listened to the freaking audio of the flight, okay? And you can tell that the pilot at no point in time knew where he was going. The pilot seemed as if he didn't follow where they were supposed to go. He was told multiple times, you're too low. We don't know why you're following the highway. You're not supposed to follow the highway. And you probably should get higher up, which is the same thing as you're too low.
Well, he did go higher up, I believe.
Well, he went up too fast, and that's why he lost control of the plane. And to be quite honest with you, I don't think he realized how fast he had to go.
I think he was going 180 miles an hour, I believe, right?
I'll be completely honest with you.
That's what I heard.
The last update I heard, and I have not followed it since, and this was hours ago, so I'm sure there's been updates since then, was apparently, this is just a rumor, but if the rumor is true, then you know what? I don't need to know anymore. Apparently they're saying that a 13-year-old was in the arms of her father, and the speculation is it was Gianna Gigi Bryant in the arms of Kobe. But
well, that's the saddest part, knowing that you can't do anything to protect your daughter. I mean, to me, that's the saddest part. As a father, there's nothing you could do to protect your daughter. Let her live. Let me go. Let her live.
I'll be honest with you, and this is just me. Okay, and no stretch of the imagination am I saying that there's foul play in this. Nothing about that made sense. Kobe Bryant cared too much about his daughter to be like, yeah, you know what? It's not really good flying weather. Well, we have to get to practice, so guess what? We're going to fly. I can't imagine Kobe telling the pilot that. I can't. I think this guy thought he was Top Gun and that he was untouchable.
Well, he was the only guy that drove Bryant's helicopter for years, I believe.
I'm going to be honest with you. This needs to be this investigation that they're doing is going to turn up, and there's going to be.
So you think there was foul play in it involved?
I think that the guy. I just think the guy was. He made a bad judgment call. And I'm sorry to say it, as a pilot, you have a 0%.
Don't you have to get clearance to
Right,
to
he got
fly?
special clearance.
He got special clearance.
So Colby probably paid the guy a few extra bucks. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you can fly this plane. I trust you. And unfortunately, it did not go well. There's no sports tonight in my mind. There's just look at it this way. Did anyone even notice the Pro Bowl was on Sunday?
Nope.
I'll be completely honest with you. I had no idea. I had no idea that they played. I had no idea anything. I clicked CBS on accident. I was like, oh my God, the Pro Bowl was on. No idea. Had no interest in watching it. Had no interest in even caring about who won or lost. It's a boring game anyway, but to add on the fact that this tragedy just went to show you that sports really doesn't matter. At all. And I get it. Oh, well, you're a sports talk show host, so what do you mean sports doesn't matter at all? It doesn't. Sports means absolutely nothing. It's crap. It means nothing. Sports is a drug and a disease that I wish I would just never have known, to be quite honest with you. And I know that's the opposite of what we're supposed to be talking about right now, but I'm sorry. It's just how I feel at this point in time. There are no words. My heartfelt condolences to Vanessa Bryant, to Natalia Bryant, Bianca Bryant, and Capri Bryant.
It was only 3 months old or something like that? 2 months old?
I think 1, 3, and
3
17.
And 17, yeah.
I, as a child that lost a beloved parent
And a sister.
No matter how amazing of a job Vanessa Bryant does from this point on, those kids will forever and always not feel whole. And that is a sentence that if you don't know it, you don't know it. But that's the most important thing right now.
Especially at that age.
And not only them, right? But there are other families that will never be whole, and they will always feel because of a pilot's mistake. And as unfair as that is to blame a pilot, guess what? The pilot has to have 100%. You have to be 100% every flight, or your chances. It's either 0 to 100. There's no gray area with flying a plane. There is none. You are thousands of feet above the air, going wickedly fast. Unfortunately, this is a tragedy, and
it's a huge tragedy.
The city of LA right now is mourning. That's what we have to chalk this.
The whole world is mourning.
The whole world, but LA is not.
No,
if you listen,
I know
if you
what you're
watch
saying.
around LA and you listen to the street of LA right now,
Of course.
you could hear a pen drop.
Mm-hmm.
Second biggest city in the world besides New York.
100%.
It's just amazing
Well,
to me.
It just shows you how, you got to live your life and just, remember all the good times you had with people and just keep the good times going and live your life like it's every last minute. Just go out there, hug your loved ones, and,
You're 100% right. You're 100% right. If there's a message,
Yeah,
because
huge
I'm
message.
sure,
Mhm.
I am sure right now, I am getting ridiculed right now by somebody about, oh, well, this is a sports show. And, well, shout out to Sandy Riggle, who said, love you, Black Mamba and Mambacita. God bless. Mambacita is Gigi Bryant's nickname that Kobe actually was getting trademarked for her. A sad day. Sad day. Not in sports. That's what pisses me off about this whole thing. Sports had nothing to do with this. Yes, they were going to practice. Yes, there was a game that night. Yes, there was a coach on board. Yes, the father was on board for the coaching. I get it. Okay? But at the end of the day, families are destroyed by this. And if you're putting a sports tag on it, guess what you're doing? You're demeaning the story. That has nothing to do with these lives right now. Nothing at all. Okay? Nothing at all.
Well, it's not about sports, but it affected the whole sports world because of what Kobe meant to what he meant to the game of basketball and what he did to the game of basketball.
It's everything
Well,
else
yes,
too.
I mean all the athletes that he, that looked up to him, like in every sport, soccer, baseball, football, they all looked up to Kobe because of what he did as an athlete and
all over the world,
and
same.
how he
Just an icon.
and how he went about himself and taught everyone to just work hard and then achieve your goals. That was a message that Kobe was
In
trying
all
to.
professions too,
Yes.
not just in sports.
No, in everything. No, like I
His
said,
work ethic is
work
second to
ethic.
none.
Just go out there and do the best you could do, and be the greatest at what you do, no matter what it is. Like you said, Speedy, not just sports, but anything.
He influenced a ton of people
Yes.
in many different professions, many different walks of life, many different parts of the world that were influenced by this man, not only in how he played, but how he worked, how he grinded for everything.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think anyone said that there's a harder worker man in the business than Kobe.
No, he was up at 4 or 5 a.m. and just
He would get up at 3:30,
work hard.
fly to the Staples Center, fly back, put his daughters on the bus, fly back, shoot around, fly back to the house, pick them up, fly back for the pregame shoot around, play the game, and fly back.
He had a great work ethic, and his message was strongly sent.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a shame that this had to happen, but now, the message that he even sent is even more clear to everybody.
Yeah.
And I know it's very hard for you, especially you, for everybody. It's just something that we never thought would ever happen or ever be talking about. It just doesn't feel real. It still doesn't feel real.
Me and my GM, it's not a joking matter by any imagination, but I told him, I said, is it wrong of me to think that they're going to bring Kobe and he's going to just kind of get off the stretcher and be like, get off me. I'm taking my daughter and we're going home. That's who Kobe was to me. Mm-hmm. There was no giving that guy. There was no quitting that guy.
Nope.
He was, I'm going to be honest, I didn't see Jordan. That's my GOAT. Kobe Bryant is the best.
Like I said,
he's the best basketball player I've ever actually seen.
I've seen Jordan play. I've seen Kobe play. I've seen them both play. And I grew up a Jordan fan. And everything that Jordan did, Kobe tried to do. And that's why Kobe, to me, is the closest thing to Michael Jordan that we will ever see. Everything Kobe did, he mimicked Jordan. He tried to be like Jordan. You could see it, even off the court. Kobe was becoming more of a successful businessman than Jordan is. It's just devastating, and there's no words to really say. It's upsetting.
I know everyone right now is probably waiting for me to bring up Kobe's basketball accolades, and
well, we all know what he did for the game of basketball. So,
to be honest, I really don't have the heart to do it because, again, basketball is the furthest thing from my mind. I told Speedy when the show was starting, trying to get myself go. I haven't mentioned basketball all year. If you really watch this show, I have not mentioned a single thing about basketball. I've given you the scores because as a fan of the show, you should know the scores going on. Outside of that, I don't talk about basketball. There's no connection to me with basketball. Now forget, I definitely won't watch anymore. But even Steph Curry, who to me is the babyface assassin and very Kobe-like in his own way, and he's
I don't
just
think he's
so
Kobe-like, but that's fine.
no,
He's
he is very efficient.
He's not the defender of Kobe Bryant was.
No, I meant mentality-wise.
Okay.
He's very lethal, very not deceitful. Deceitful is the wrong word, but very decisive with the basketball. He's very he gets any shot he wants, and he is unstoppable once he gets to half court because you have to defend him. And to me, he'll come back. He'll play with his broken hand. He'll get warmed up and put on a show for Golden State at the Chase Center. And it doesn't matter now. And I want to actually apologize to LeBron James right now, too, because for years I've been very critical of everything that you've done because of the fact I saw and I wanted the next face of the league to be like Kobe. But
It's not going to happen.
there will never be another Kobe.
Nope, just
There will
like,
never be another Jordan.
Yep.
There will never be another LeBron. There will never be another Magic. There will never be another Rodman. There will never be another Pippen. There will never be another
Bird.
Worthy, Bird, Hakeem, West. They're all Allen Iverson. The list goes on and on. So I apologize for holding you to a standard that nobody would match because no one's going to match the standard that somebody has set for you. And I've seen these posts about on Instagram, no more debating LeBron, Kobe, or Jordan, and seeing kumbaya and get along. That's not the message that Kobe would once sent. Kobe hated the argument, period. You can't define different eras. All three of them were different eras.
Mm-hmm. But again, Kobe was the closest thing to Jordan. LeBron can't even touch Jordan. So,
And that's
or Kobe
that-
in my eyes.
that's and you know what I would any other day I'd probably agree with you and get in on this, but it just doesn't feel. I'm trying to update.
I don't know. I know.
I'm just trying to make sure that we're not missing comments or anything right now, so I apologize.
No comments at the moment.
Because I know somebody had showed up about. I mean, I guess everyone's got a Kobe story, right? My Kobe story isn't as. I didn't know Kobe, obviously. Like, if I knew Kobe, I wouldn't be here. I'd probably be in L.A.
You've never seen him live, or have you?
I've never been to a basketball game, period.
Really?
Yeah, no, I never have, which irritated me because I told my girlfriend, I was like, hey, listen, I want to go see Kobe. Something happened. I couldn't go for some reason. I forget why. It was work-related, I think.
Well,
But
I never got to see Jordan play. I was too young, and the Knick tickets back then were too damn expensive to go.
right.
So didn't get a chance to see Jordan play, but live, but on TV, yeah.
It's just so it's funny because me and Mike Guido actually thought about doing this. I was at the NBA store, and it's where I got this shirt. It's where I got this jacket. I was
Recently?
picking it. No, years ago. It's when it's when the Kobe LeBron stuff started to heat up. Kobe Bryant was either about to retire or the year before he was hurt. I don't know. But there was a $1,000 item in the NBA store, and it was the hardwood of his last game at the Garden or something. Some crazy thing that I was like, that's sick. And I want it. And I almost bought it. I thought about it. I was like, yeah, that makes a ton of sense. But my girlfriend gave me this look like, you buy it, I'm going to slap you. And I was like, all right. And I'm looking at it. And the NBA store, there's no, like, they walk around as if you're at, like, Foot Locker. They got the headpieces on. Like,
Yeah.
do we have any of these? Blah, blah, blah. So this guy's looking at me. He goes, you like that, right? And I was like, yeah, I do like this. I like this a lot. And he's like, yeah, Kobe's something. I was like, Kobe's more than something. Kobe's the greatest player I've ever seen. And the guy looks at me, he starts like bopping his head around. He's like, "Yo, man, go tell it to this guy." I was like, "All right, fine." So I don't know. Now I have no idea what I'm getting. I'm just going to tell this guy that works at the NBA store that I think Kobe's better than LeBron, which in Kobe fashion I think he would appreciate. And I just said, so the guy goes over, he goes like, "Yo, listen to what this guy's about to say." I said, "Kobe's better than LeBron." This guy starts laughing like I had just slapped his mom or something. Like he was like, "Yeah." I was like, oh God. Oh my God, what the hell's about to happen here? And before you knew it, I had a whole floor debate, half and half, on Kobe and LeBron James in the middle of the NBA store downstairs. And I got home that night because we spent the night in the city, and then the next day we went home. So when I got home the next day, I had texted Guido. I was like, "Yo, I've got the best idea to do right now." He's like, "What?" I said, "We're going to go to the NBA store. You're going to go downstairs with me. I'm going to get half of the floor with Kobe and half the floor with LeBron, and we're just going to absolutely have an all-out debate in the middle of the NBA store." And you guys laughed, but I was completely serious.
I know you are.
I was 100% on board with this.
I was waiting for you to split the wood in half and start sword fighting or something.
Oh,
like that.
I was ready. I mean, to be quite honest with you,
it was probably too memorable of the material to do it with.
Oh man. So now, mind you, this is going on for like 10, 15 minutes, and my girlfriend's like, "We're leaving now." I said, "But the debate's just getting started."
She wanted to go. She didn't want to be there
"We're leaving
no more.
now." I was like, okay, all right, honey. And the guy that grabbed me, that was the Kobe guy, was like, "Yo, man, whenever you want to come back, come back." I said, "I'm coming back." Haven't been back since, but you know what? It is what it is. But everyone has a story about Kobe, and I think that as hard as it is, we have to kind of just – the man played seasons with a broken finger to the point where he didn't want to fix his finger because he got so used to shooting with the broken finger that he felt like it would have threw off his game if he had unbroken his finger. That's why his fingers are taped together. Does anyone not realize that?
Yeah, I saw that.
That's why his fingers were always taped together. It's just a rough. Now you got Shaq doing his first
He was crying
speech
today.
You've got Melo coming out, who was. If you watch Melo's game, it's mirrored right after Kobe. It's no surprise. And I don't mean this in a derogatory way, but I've said for years he's a knockoff Kobe because that's what he was. He was a jump shooter who had a good post game, but he didn't defend like Kobe. He didn't work the point like Kobe.
Kobe was one of the best defenders I ever seen in my life.
And Kobe took pride in that.
He did. Took pride in everything he did. Not just that, everything he did.
I told Speed before we went on, if I knew Errol Marks wouldn't have had a fit, I would have ended the show at 8:24. I would have had a 10-minute show. I would have said the names. I would have said rest in peace, Kobe Bryant, Jeannie Bryant, Gigi, and that would have been it. Goodbye. But
Kobe wouldn't want you to do that.
the story for Kobe, man, is just. I'm just trying to make sure I'm not missing anything right now, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize if you think I'm on my phone. I'm really not. I'm just making sure that everything on this show is going smoothly because it is a very sensitive subject. And, again, I know a lot of people always say, well, keep the sports out of it, but this really has nothing to do with sports at all. And I'm not going to sit here and...
Yeah, I mean, something like this shouldn't, change people on the aspect of life that they live. I mean, why does it have to, something like this have to happen for people to realize that life's more important? You know what I'm getting at?
As sad as it is,
it's like, why does something tragic have to happen to bring all these people together to realize that, oh, let me be with my family more. Let me do this more. Let me do that more. Why does it have to take something like this for that to happen? It shouldn't be like that.
Because I think people just get so ingrained with every day you get up, every day you go to work, and every day. Is there somebody on the phone? No. Oh, okay, because I didn't know if Sorry, I should be facing you more. I didn't know if you were trying to get my attention or not.
No.
I figured at this point you might as well just say, hey, stupid, blah blah blah's on the phone.
But why does it have to be like that? Like,
I think it's just the culture we're in. You go to work, you do it every day, you have the same day every day, and you just
no, I understand that.
Kind
I'm
of
not saying that you
fall
have
in the
same day,
motions,
yeah,
and I mean that's why.
I'm sure everyone has like little things in their life that happens that are just dumb. Like, why are we fighting over something stupid like this?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
right.
It just makes.
No surprise. I talk to a lot of people, so
well.
And it's funny because I always kind of, when I go out somewhere, I never think I'm going to be the one to talk. I'm always kind of quiet and everything, but I'm always the one that ends up talking for a half hour, 45 minutes with a stranger, and it's like, come on, hurry up. Me and a family member, we're just going to call him Jeff because that's his name, but so me and Jeff are going to Wendy's, and me and him were just talking about, I forget what we were talking about, something about Brady, and before I knew it, I was talking to Jeff like this. We were about this close. Before I knew it, I was talking to a guy where Speedy's standing for about 20 minutes. Jeff left me completely, and he started ordering his food. I have no idea what's going on. I'm talking to the guy next to me about Tom Brady and how he's, still amazing
that's
or whatever.
What happens. You meet people and you just talk. That's what happens.
Even at work, do you know how many people I get called up now to work just to be like, hey, this guy's a Chiefs fan. Oh, that's great. 20-minute conversation later. All right, goodbye. That's just like and it's crazy. Like, it's just crazy to me that people were calling me. They were texting me. Mike Guido texted me. He was like, hey, how are you today? Like, I know how you feel about Kobe. Are you all right? Like, God damn. Like, I felt like I was a Bryant for 5 seconds. I was like, oh. I had people from work like, oh, my God, are you okay? Oh, my God, is this real? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, I don't know. For once, I don't know. I never say I don't know. I don't know is my I don't know and I'm fine. Those are the two things people say that piss me off more than anything else. How don't you know an answer to something? If you generally don't know, at least tell me who will know. And if you're really that fine, you'd say, no, I'm good. Not I'm fine. I'm good and I'm fine are two different sentences. Same syllables, two completely different meanings. I'm fine means shut up and leave me alone, and I'm good means I'm good, I just don't want to tell you anything. To me.
But again, it shouldn't come down to this to bring everyone together,
And as sick as this is going to sound, I need everyone to digest this for a second, okay? Knowing how this country is right now and knowing how divided and how explosive this country is getting towards itself, there has to be a reset button somewhere, right? And Kobe wasn't the biggest Trump guy, okay? And this isn't politics, so don't call me harassing me that I mentioned the president's name. But Kobe had sent a tweet out about if your name alone gets people to feel divided and anger and whatever else, you can't possibly unite a nation. We're just going to be more divided and fall apart. Something to that effect. I don't remember the exact tweet. I've seen a lot of tweets over the past few hours. So, but this was a bitter pill to swallow. I'll be honest. I'll explain this plaque in the next hour. At some point, I will try to bring up the Kobe basketball side of this, even though I'll be honest with you, it's going to be half-assed, and I don't want to do it half-assed because that defines everything Kobe hated the most. But I watched the podcast last night. I was like, oh my God, Kobe's on with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. Great interview. It's the realest interview I've ever seen Kobe have. And they're just talking about sports. They're talking about the All-American high school game, how and how angry Kobe was that he wasn't playing right away. And there's just so much to divulge, and there's just so much to talk about. If anyone wants to call the show, I know you had somebody that wanted to call.
Yeah,
I don't know
what happened to him. He owns a liquor store, so he's probably working.
No, he's probably drinking on the job. That's fine.
Well,
1-845-478-3272. To the Beeves friend, I'll take it, Jack. Thanks. And yeah, this is. I'm trying my best. Bear with me. This is something I'm really just trying to get through. This is going to be more therapeutic than anything else. But again, this is just one of those things I couldn't really digest. I tried to find somebody to come with me today for the longest time. I'm glad you actually stayed because I don't know. I know Speedy just hosted Down to the Wire just now, so I didn't want to have Speedy host it again because that's not fair to Speedy. He does a lot of things.
He does a lot
here.
for this network.
He
keeps this network going.
Well,
except when he screws up on the board,
Well,
and he tries to sing, so I don't know. Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Hey.
Well, I give him credit for trying.
Hey.
I mean, I'm a terrible singer too, so
I believe it.
I'm horrible.
You look like a terrible singer.
Thank you.
I didn't mean it in a positive way.
I know I'm a terrible singer, so I'm going to agree with you.
But again, I do want to try to get back to sports in the second hour of the show, and I'll try my best. But I think the Beef hit it on the head. Jay Williams, who had a horrific motorcycle accident, I think pointed it out best. If this doesn't make you hug somebody a little bit tighter, or just hold on to somebody like that second longer. I told my girlfriend before I left today, she was hugging me, and I grabbed her by her face, and I squeezed her, and I said, if anything happens to me, just know that I always love you. I don't know what's going to happen to me.
You never know. God has a plan for everybody, and you don't know what his plan is, so live every moment, like it's your last. Be happy. Don't stress out over the little things in life, because there's always somebody that has it worse than you. Be thankful for what you got.
And
I mean,
that's pretty much spot on. No,
there's really nothing else really to say.
There's really nothing else to say.
So, but
I'm not even mocking you. I really do think there's nothing else to say.
No. Like the little dumb incident that me and Matty Caps had off air was stupid when you go back and look at it.
Well,
you know what I mean? And something like that is like, you go back and you look at that. It's like, I'm not going to get into it, but it's like, why do we even let it get to that level? Stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's just.
That's funny. That's really funny.
But that's like, it is the truth.
I'm not that way. I'm not that way, buddy. You're not getting that sentence out of my mouth.
It's the truth.
I hold on to grudges. I hold on to grudges.
I don't hold on to grudges. It was something stupid that shouldn't have happened.
No, exactly. It is something stupid that shouldn't have happened. But to me, I just look at life like little stuff like that is dumb and it shouldn't have happened. And it did, but we got over it. We got through it, and. You were on his show, weren't you?
No,
recently.
I called the show.
No, I thought you were like sitting on.
No, I haven't got a chance to get on the show with him. So because he had a couple issues, I believe, too, family issues.
Oh,
last week, yeah.
Yeah, last week. So.
No, not that. I thought Speedy was doing the hand thing again, but
But anyways, like I said, live every life, hug your loved ones, and just don't let the little things in life bother you, because you just never know. So.
He hit it on the head. Again, if you want to call the show, you have a Kobe moment. This is going to be hard to find, but if you knew Kobe, seriously, if you knew Kobe, you have a Kobe story of maybe. I have a few that I'm sure people don't really know of yet. Some funny, some won't be funny. Some will just be a testament to what Kobe Bryant was. But if you want to share your opinion or thoughts about Kobe in a respectful way, regardless of what you feel about him, because we will be tackling something that in the next hour will probably rub people the wrong way. And,
just don't tackle Speedy.
We got one.
Oh, who is it? Might be my cousin.
there you go.
No, I think it's Mark. Mark was trying to call.
Welcome to the home stretch. How may I help?
Hey, Tyler, what's up? It's Mark.
Hey, Mark, how's it going? Thank God you called, buddy. I'm drowning here. I'm trying so hard, but it's hard.
Yeah, I know. I heard what you guys were talking about. Actually, I haven't felt well all day, but I don't. I gotta apologize. I don't know the person there with you doing the show, but I agree with what he said because there's a lot of when Ryan and I did the show yesterday morning, it was we pretty much dedicated the whole show, and we didn't even know if we were going to do that when we came in. But it just seemed ridiculous than anything else to talk about. And the one thing that we did is we put up there the other 7 members that were killed. I mean, what really hurt me was that Kobe's daughter was involved. I think Kobe, lived a full life, and I don't really think he had many regrets. But 13-year-old daughter, that's really what hit me, and everyone else too, because nobody really mentions them or thinks about them, and as important as Kobe is to society, every life is important to society.
Absolutely. That's why I don't know if you watched the beginning. I mentioned Kobe and Gigi second to last and last because there were 7 other people that no one was talking about because obviously everyone talked about the pilot being, whether he should have been flying or not. So we all knew the pilot, and he actually was flying celebrities around, not only just Kobe, but other celebrities too. So,
but again, according to Kobe, that's the one. That's the pilot that's been flying him for years, and he trusted.
I'm sure
he trusted him the most out of everybody. And
I'm sure Kobe. I don't know if maybe the pilot lied to Kobe. I don't know if he was just like, Mr. Bryant. Never mind. We're good. Don't worry about it. You don't know how that conversation. Sadly,
again,
you'll never know how that conversation went.
That tower had to give them clearance to fly, to go. So why?
Yeah,
To me, that's my biggest
We're
question.
flying Kobe Bean Bryant
Why?
from 2 blocks away to 2 blocks away.
You still got to get clearance to fly.
Right,
I'm
but
sorry.
I know that, but a lot of people have said this, and Kobe could have went anywhere in L.A. and got whatever he wanted.
Of course.
He didn't abuse that, but he could have went anywhere. You're talking about a guy that went to an L.A. Dodger game, and people were not watching the game. They were chanting MVP for him. Not the Dodgers, who were about to go on a World Series dynasty run. No, they were talking about the greatest NBA player that half of them will ever see, and one of the greatest NBA careers we've ever seen, and one of the role models that a lot of kids have in L.A. He inspired a lot of kids. Jason Tatum, Kyrie Irving. Just to name the 2 most off the top of my head that are probably like Kyrie Irving still, by the way. And I'm serious about this. Somebody better go find Kyrie because he has not reported to the Brooklyn Nets. No one can get a hold of him. And I'm sure he's just grieving in his own way, but he's clearly distraught. So somebody needs to go find Kyrie Irving. That is a small takeaway from this too, but
Yeah. Well, I think, Tyler, people lose people every day. I mean, the thing that, look, Sunday I went to see a friend I had kind of lost contact with, and he was in Cornell, and I got there about a half hour too late, and he had passed away.
oh,
And,
Jesus.
Terrible.
So I was already thinking about that when, that I went to an exhibit in the city of a guy we had a guest on last week who had an exhibit in the city. So I went to go see that, and so it was bad enough, but then the day just got worse. But I think we all have people in our lives that mean a lot to us that die every day, and that we have to learn how to adjust and get along with. I mean, coming from the background I come from, and I was lucky to survive some of the things that have happened to me. And I've known many of the people that I was roommates with when I was first diagnosed with cancer. They died, and being around their families and seeing that kind of suffering and seeing that kind of hope taken away, it makes you think what life is really about, what's important. And you kind of lose that too when you get involved with sports. And sports is supposed to be something that we enjoy, and even politics too. Politics is supposed to be something we enjoy, not something we dedicate and base our lives on. So I think that if the one thing that kept coming up to me is after my friend died is just if you have someone you really love and someone that matters to you, you tell them, and you don't let the days go by without contacting people. You don't let grudges. I don't know who you hold grudges against, Howard, but I'm telling you, it ain't worth it. Coming from the divorce.
That's what I just tried telling them. Yeah.
Yeah, it ain't worth it.
It's not.
It really isn't, because there's so many things in life that really just don't matter. And when you're really stressed about it, there's so many other things to really put your time and effort into that can benefit and make you look better, and also help other people. And knowing you the little I do, I know there's a lot of good in you that people don't necessarily know right up front, but I see it, and I think those who know you see it. So I think don't be afraid to let that over anything that might be a momentary disagreement or something that because in the end it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. There's a lot that can separate us, but there really needs to be more that brings us together.
Oh, well, I agree with that 100%. So.
Yeah, it should probably.
Not to depress everybody here, but
no, I know, but no, you're absolutely right, though. It's you're 100% right. So live every moment like it's your last, and don't let the little things in life bother you. It's not worth it.
Yeah, you don't know. I've walked down that road. I'm not going to wait if tomorrow was going to come. So it's not an easy road to walk it.
Yes, 100%.
You learn to prioritize things and make what things are really important, and then you learn to appreciate the little things and not be as angry or not be as hurt about when things happen. Nobody's perfect, and none of us is perfect out there. None of us are better than anyone else. But I also think that sports in itself is something that you look to get inspiration. I know Magic Johnson was my hero. So when he got sick, and I thought he was going to die, it's something that devastated me. But you get to see what he's doing, the kind of society, and you saw the effect that Kobe's had on people. So there could be another way of this is when you see how many lives that were touched by just one person. It makes you wonder what your legacy is and how many lives you're touching. And that's something I think we all need to ask ourselves and do the most that we can with the talents we have. And that's why I like working with you guys, because I see that in everybody, that we're all using the talent that God gave us to give back to others and share what we love to do with others.
Well said.
Very well said.
I'll let you guys go, but I just wanted to.
You can, by all means. I'm just trying to soak everything you just said in and kind of.
No, we love you, and you're part of the family.
Some, not all, some.
No, that's not true.
You maybe, not.
No,
Yes.
That's not true.
Some.
That's not true. We're all family, Kyle. Yeah. Hang in there, bud. All right.
All right, you too.
Thanks, Mark.
Yep, you get that.
No, that was well said.
That was when I stop talking, that means I'm listening, and when I'm listening, I'm not. That to me is
for
me.
no reason, right?
Right.
Yes.
Like there's no reason for me not to. If God gave you 2 years from now, so if you're gonna listen, then listen. So,
100%. Well, let's take a quick break.
good job, Beav. I very rarely applaud you for doing anything, but that was actually that was good. But
Thanks,
again, no, well, when you're right, you're right. And plus, Errol Marks is probably ripping his hair out. What do you mean you haven't got a break?
Oh.
Did you move the cameras? No, I didn't, Errol. I didn't move the cameras.
That was Errol Marks.
Anyway, thank you, B, for joining.
Thank you for having me.
No, well, you kind of showed up, so it's all right. Anyway,
Well,
I'm just kidding.
I'm here almost every Tuesday. Well, not almost. Tuesdays usually I'm here.
No, not when the Cowboys lose. You don't show up for 2
I
weeks.
showed up.
Speedy.
I had a Ranger game that Tuesday. Mm-hmm. So.
You have a
I would
Ranger
say
game?
it's 50-50.
Thank you. So anyway,
All right, guys.
again, everything Mark Kelly and the Beef have told you are spot on. But when we come back, more
Kobe.
Yeah, more Kobe. And Mambasita for Gigi, who is 9 lives have been taken too soon.
100%.
When we come back from the home stretch, we celebrate those 9 lives even more than just next on the home stretch.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
And manage the baseball team.
Little League.
Fantasy League.
We are back with the home stretch on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Hello, welcome back to home stretch. Still Tyler Harrison, still Speedy. PD the Beef is left. Some of you will rejoice, some of you won't care, some of you will be sad. I don't know who, but somebody will probably be sad that the Beef left. But I know Speedy didn't really get a lot to talk about. And you normally didn't get a chance to talk about Kobe when me and Mike would talk about Kobe because we normally shouted for 2 hours at a time, and then it was time to go home, and we never really heard. Do you have a Kobe story of like, oh my God, or just anything Kobe related?
Well, specifically one Kobe story, not really connected to him because basketball kind of came later for me.
Right.
I really didn't watch it. I watched college basketball, but I didn't really watch NBA until I started playing, and that was later on. But again, when he dominated the Boston Celtics in that NBA Finals like he did, because I didn't like the Celtics, so that was something like, wow, he just did that with, like you say all the time, a team that was beyond that very average. It was a very average roster beyond that. So he was definitely something that you could be like, whoa, he could just dominate at any point in time. He was easily a favorite player of mine growing up. And because of that series, really, I think that was really what did it for me, because I didn't see his younger days. I didn't see even some of his prime before that, just because when I was getting into sports, it was football and baseball that was first for me. And basketball I didn't really get into until later. So it was really that finals that really showed me, because I knew about the 81-point game. I saw highlights of that. I was in the car on the way to something, I think one of my brother's things. I think a baseball game or something like that, and I heard it on WFAN. Kobe Bryant gets 81 points. I'm like, whoa. So I knew how good of a player he already was, but I didn't really have any touching connection to him in terms of me like embracing him as the athlete that he was until really that 09 finals. So that's really the only thing I have for me. But in terms of just looking at who he is, what a player he was, just an unbelievable player, but also his unbelievable work ethic as a player, as a father, as a business guy. He really did just a tremendous influence to a lot of different people. I said this on Down on the Wire earlier. It was not just sports people that he touched, not just athletes. It was people that were aspiring business people, journalists, reporters, broadcasters, anyone like that, and international athletes, international sports people. Really, we talk about how Jordan spread the game globally. Kobe kept that going and really was a big influence to a lot of those players. 90% of the current NBA, if you were to poll them last week on who their biggest influences are who play the game, I'm sure 90% at least would say Kobe, maybe even more. That's how big of an icon he was. He was a childhood hero to many, and he was a big reason that people got into the sports that they did, and also just in general, just in life, the Mamba mentality. People were driven to work harder because of Kobe in many different professions, both in LA and just all across the world. And Kobe Bryant was an influence to just so many people in so many different professions. And it's just so sad that he passed away along with his daughter, who he loved all his children, and you really showed that as a father. And if Kobe was very selfless. If he were to pick, he would save his daughter's life before his own. That's how much he cared about his daughters. And that means a lot, and that means a lot to a lot of other parents, other women across the world, and it really shows how many people he could touch just with that. And it was just, the biggest thing that got me is it was just so tragic because it was uncontrollable. It's not something that he had any issues with. He didn't have any mental issues or off-field issues or issues with guns or anything like that. And the uncontrollable deaths are always the one that got me. That's why when I was a kid, the two that really got me was Nick Aidenhart was one, and Sean Taylor the other, in terms of just shocking deaths.
Sean Taylor is definitely one of the saddest ones.
Sean Taylor obviously shot in his own house.
And if that doesn't make people go, oh well,
yeah.
I'm not the political side, but if that doesn't kind of resonate with somebody, then I don't know.
And that was 2006, I think it was, or 2007.
6, I think.
I think, yeah. And he was 26 years old. He was a phenomenal young safety, and as a Giants fan, he was on the Redskins. I obviously a rival, but he was a phenomenal player. And then Nick Aidenhart too, a car accident that he wasn't driving the car. He was 22 years old, a big prospect for the Angels. That was the other one that got me too. A lot of people thought he was going to be the ace of that staff very soon. Jared Weaver, I know, named his baby Aiden after him. Those were the two that really got me, just as a kid.
Fernandez?
No, I'm talking about as a kid. Oh. Fernandez I was in college for. Those were the two that really got me as a kid. I think it was 11 when Taylor died and 13 when Aidenhart died. Those were unfortunate, but this was very similar, where it was just so uncontrollable. He was just flying in a helicopter, something he did hundreds of times before that with his daughter. He was flying who knows how far. It was probably, I think they said it was going to be a 15-minute flight. Like, that's nothing. That's not something that you weren't expecting anything like that. So that's what hit it hard for me. It's just it was so uncontrollable, and just how hard it hit with all people across the world, all different types of people, professions, how much it hit on a national level. And I've heard throughout the week on our shows, and also I've seen it on Twitter. This is a national icon in Kobe Bryant that probably is similar to the shockingness of John F. Kennedy and John Lennon in past generations, just how shocking those were. That's how much of an icon Kobe was to a lot of people. And it's just very sad on so many levels that he and his daughter passed away. And obviously all the 7 other victims too. The baseball coach that was a big help to a lot of current Major League players, his family, some of the Mamba Academy players and coaches that were on that plane too. And the pilot, unfortunately, with just making that bad decision that cost him his own life too, as well as obviously the 8 others on that plane. So it was just so sad this had to happen in this way.
Yeah, we weren't obviously there. I was talking to somebody about this before. Imagine being the people filming the plane coming down. Like, you don't know who's on that plane at the time. Mm-hmm. So they were like, oh, Kobe. Oh, okay. No, they filmed it. Said, oh, my God, that's awful. And then got punched in the gut. Oh, it was Kobe, and then got punched in the gut again. Oh, my God, his daughter was there, too. Mm-hmm. It was numbing to know it was Kobe. It hurt. And I'll just be very candid about this. If Errol Marks would have walked in here today and said, Tyler, Tuesday, we need you. We're getting a guest on this show. Don't worry about anything. Who do you want on this show on Tuesday? My answer, 100 out of 100 times, would have been Kobe Bryant. You're talking about a guy that is just so, and my problem with people was always how, and Kobe admits this in not several, but I've seen him admit it in podcasts about how it Steven Jackson told him on All the Smoke. He was like, do you have a low point in your career? He goes, or is there any negative feedback that just hurt a little bit extra because you know that people that don't play basketball don't get it? Kobe was like, all of it does. All of it did. To be told I'm selfish, you don't know how the team was running. You don't know why I did what I did. You don't know. You're talking about a guy that might have slept 3 or 4 hours a night. You're talking about a guy that religiously watched, analyzed, not basketball, life. The guy took everything in, and he digested it all, and he tried to always... You're talking about a guy that studied snakes and how they hunted prey to transform him into a different basketball player. Name anybody else on the planet that you can say that to.
Freaky.
The guy thought different. The guy was a different level of intelligent. The guy literally, everything he touched turned to gold. No pun intended, but goddamn, let's look at the Lakers when he left. Everyone talks about LeBron when the Cavs left. What happened in LA the minute Kobe retired? The sinking ship hit rock bottom.
Well, that season was really all just about him.
Well, not only that,
Farewell.
but he was
Anything like
trying to tape it together with glue and he couldn't do it anymore. His body and he just could not physically carry the lift of the team anymore.
No, he did all he could.
Exactly.
I remember not the last game, but I think it was a month before that last game. My friend and I were in Buffalo Wild Wings. We were in there to watch the Ranger Islander game because he was an Islanders fan. But
Did the Rangers win?
No, unfortunately not. That was the one Cal Clutterbuck scored with like less than a minute ago. It was him of all people. It was not even a goal scorer. But still, when we saw on one of the other TVs, the Lakers were absolutely dominating the Warriors. I'm like, what? How is this happening? And Kobe's stats, I looked back at them. They weren't great in that game. But, I mean, if there's anyone that had anything to do with that game, it would be him in terms of getting those guys confident to play against. That was a record-setting regular season Golden State Warriors team. And
right.
He was able to do that. Even though I think he only had like 14 points in the game, he didn't play much. I think he played like 24 minutes.
Yeah, that season they were just trying to make sure he played every game. Right.
They were trying to just have him go out. But, I mean, his leadership in that kind of thing, and probably many other games that year, because the Lakers weren't that good record-wise. But I remember just throughout the year, they won a lot of games they weren't supposed to win.
And they hung tough in a lot of games.
Right.
So, I mean, I told everyone this. I was walking around a festival, and when I'm at festivals, there's always that type of sports antique, like.
Oh, I love those places, yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. So, and generally speaking, a lot of them make it, like, a lot of them just make a couple of plaques, and it doesn't cost them much. So, even if they put in maybe $10, $15, you pay $20, $25, maybe $30 if the paint work and the, all the stuff is really up to par. So, I found, I don't know if everyone can see this, but I brought this today for a reason. So, my girlfriend bought me this at a festival that I didn't even go to. I was at work. And it's still in the saran wrap from when she brought it home from the festival. She knows how I am. I'm anal about things. Do not take them out of the box. Do not touch it unless it's something I'm going to use with, like, clothes religiously or just leave it in there.
Lose the value.
Because I have value and I have a plan for everything that I buy. So my plan, when she handed me this, was me and Guido were starting this podcast downstairs, and in my sick mind, I thought one day I would have met Kobe Bryant. He would have autographed this, and we could have just laughed and chuckled at the fact that one day I thought he would sign it, and I don't know if you remember Stephen A. Smith's first show on ESPN?
No.
Okay. So, quite frankly, it was a sit-down lounge thing. Looked just like a Jerry Springer set. It was a couch, an end table, and another couch. I remember Kobe being on there, sitting there, and just being as candid as possible about whatever question Stephen A. asked him. I remember thinking, I want to interview this guy. This guy has a different type of passion about things. And, by the way, he just got women's basketball freaking raised.
He did.
He just everyone talks about how, and here we go again, diving into the too deep, right? And Speedy, I'm sorry, but I have to do this. I've seen a lot of this, and I think it's completely uncalled for. I think it's completely unjustified, and I think if you bring this up, at least now, at least right now, wait a few weeks, months. There were people on Sunday night, Monday morning, bringing up what happened in Denver, Colorado.
Unfortunately, there's still some extremities in the world.
And here comes where we go too far. Let's not act like her story made sense. I completely understand. Kobe Bryant made a mistake. Kobe Bryant was not perfect, and I understand Kobe's not everyone's favorite person. But out of respect for his family, you should not bring that up right now. You should not bring that up, period. It's in the past, and it's not the OJ case. It's not the Michael Jackson case, and I get it. What he was accused of is awful, and I'm not saying by any means, that should go undermined whatsoever. If you read the transcripts, you really pay attention to this girl's story, you really look at the DNA that was found on the girl, we're not diving in anywhere, I'm not calling anyone anything, it really looked as if it was a come-up for her. That's just, take it, leave it, whatever. That's your opinion. You want to digest, but there's just certain things out of respect for people's families you don't bring up. So, just like everyone talks about, there's now a joke going around about, oh yeah, imagine the line in the movie, imagine playing a year, the Aaron Hernandez thing. Somebody goes, imagine playing a year in the NFL after you murdered somebody. People are bringing up Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis what has Ray Lewis done to anyone to provoke that conversation to get brought back up? What did Kobe... So Kobe passing away with his 13-year-old daughter in his arms in a helicopter crash isn't painful enough. His wife, who's already gone through this once, that's not enough. His daughters, who are way too young to know anything. The 1-year-old, the 3-year-old, and the 17-year-old might not have known anything either. I don't know. I can't do the math in my head right now. But if she was born at that time, she was definitely way too young to understand what was going on. She's very able to know what's going on now. And seeing that stuff about their father and husband is not what they need to be seeing right now. It's not. Okay? Forget about who he was for a second and understand that his family is grieving right now uncontrollably. A report is coming out now that Vanessa Bryant cannot even speak. She can't talk. Okay? She can't even get up. That's how distraught she is. I don't know what's wrong with society, but you got to use a little bit of common sense. And I was really trying not to go here because I really wanted to just not let this get too big, because it was supposed to be about Kobe, and it is about Kobe, and it's about the 9 lives that were lost. By you bringing that up, you not only diminish the other people that were in that accident, you also are diminishing the 13-year-old Gigi, and you're really ripping apart his family that has to now build a life without him. I'm sure the Lakers will set up Vanessa and the daughters with whatever they want. I'm sure that the city of LA will come through for the Bryant family. I'm not saying that they're going to struggle financially or anything else. Spiritually and mentally, physically, they're not going to be okay for a very long time. And if you can't wrap your mind around that, then you really should just not talk about Kobe at all. or the accident at all. Because, again, it wasn't just about the Bryant family, but the Bryant family is, fair or unfair, going to get a lot more publicitation about this than the families that were also affected just because of how big Kobe was. Unfortunately, Denver, Colorado happened. Unfortunately, we have not heard from that woman since. Okay? She made $4 million and she hasn't said a word since. With this whole Me Too movement going on, don't you think she would have at least sought after something if it was really true? Maybe some sort of public affirmation of like, I want you to know I didn't make this up. I really am a victim. I'm not talking about this as if the woman lied, but let's really just dive into the fact that Kobe Bryant, who is no longer here to defend himself, how many people were ripping apart HBO for putting this Michael Jackson film out, and there was not a single person in that HBO documentary that said a positive word about Michael Jackson. Regardless of how you feel about Michael Jackson, he's not here to defend himself. He's not here. His family, no one got called to be interviewed. Aaron Hernandez had people talk on his behalf, but the lawyer said that he was kind of misled. And you're talking about a guy that got him acquitted from a murder after being convicted of a murder with a tattoo saying that basically, yeah, I did kill him on his neck. So if that guy got tricked, imagine the other people that got tricked. And I'm not even going to bring up the Duke lacrosse case, okay? Because let's just be real. They sued the state because of how awful, okay, that case got and how one-sided it was that you were 3 college athletes and we're going to make a freaking statement out of you 3. I'm sorry. I'm not going to sit here and say that we've gone too far. It's not about this. It's not. I apologize in advance if I made you feel uncomfortable. Just that I don't understand why it's even being brought up. I've seen posts saying, thank goodness, one less of them off the planet. Like, what? What? This is not supposed to be taken as anything other than, if this doesn't make you rearrange your life and go, I'm thankful for everyone in it, hold everyone a little bit tighter, look at everyone a little bit longer, talk a little bit, say the word that you wanted to say before they left, and not hold it in, and you don't know what happens when they walk out the door. If you're not affected by this, I don't know what to tell you. You either got the perfect life, which, God forgive me, I highly doubt anyone has the perfect life. You might, and if you do, more power to you. Congratulations. I hope your life stays exactly the same. But let's just be honest, 99% of you don't have that. Just like everyone here. I don't have the perfect. You got the perfect life over there?
No.
Okay, neither do I. I mean, for God's sakes, I'm talking about Kobe Bean Bryant's freaking helicopter crash. In a perfect world, he'd be sitting there telling me I'm an idiot. Like, there's a life lesson to be learned here. Shout out to UConn, by the way, for retiring Gigi's jersey that they made for her. Mm-hmm. And the... This was what else can you say, right? There's just so much to say. Again, to his family, Joe Bryant and his mom. It's a tragedy, and there's no words that really will ever erase this situation. There's nothing that I can say that will bring the Bryants any sort of ease or comfort. I'm sure they have people in and out of that house right now. I'm sure that their phone hasn't stopped ringing. I'm sure right now that they're all so flustered and just so
they're not going to be able to handle any outside
dazed.
stuff.
I don't know when you'll see them publicly, but I would imagine,
especially for those younger daughters too.
Capri and Bianca. Yeah, that's gonna be rough. And now
something that young,
Capri's middle name is Kobe. You know.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Something that early in their life is brutal, and they hopefully will be able to make it through. But that's gonna be as difficult a thing to make it through as anybody. For somebody that young, that those flashbacks.
Even if you're lucky enough to have flashbacks, 1 and 3-year-olds aren't going to have flashbacks.
Well, no, I'm not even talking about now. I'm talking about just in life in general. Those things may never go away because you have to deal with that so young. It's really tough on the whole family, and like you were saying, they're probably getting contacted and don't want to deal with it because they're just so heartbroken with everything that happened.
I'm trying to remember the woman's name from ESPN that I want to give major kudos to.
The one yesterday that spoke?
Elle Duncan?
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I want to give Elle Duncan a lot of credit. We're hearing a lot of stories about Kobe as, like, he loved basketball. We're not, we get it. He loved basketball, and maybe tomorrow will be a better time for us to talk about the basketball side of this. I don't know. You got it. This is my Monday for you guys, so I don't know how I was going to play in the show. I didn't even know if I was going to talk during the show, to be quite honest. I tried to get multiple people here to host this show so I could kind of just sit there and occasionally be like, send my regards to the Bryant family every now and then. I really did not feel comfortable doing this show. This is the first sports event. Jose Fernandez, we were not here. Jose Fernandez, we did a podcast and talked about him for a half hour because we didn't know really what else to say. Jose Fernandez's career was cut short and his life, and it's very similar to this, but then you started kind of finding out he made a bad decision that led to Kobe did what he normally does, doing what he loved to do most. And I have to be quite honest with you. I think Elle Duncan shows you that Kobe Bryant, that everyone thinks Kobe was this guy that showed no emotion, he had the extra drive, his hard work, his dedication, that he was some sort of robot. And he just was so methodical and everything. So, did you hear the story?
Yeah. I watched that yesterday. That was remarkable. So,
the Elle Duncan story, for those of you who don't know, I also have a story from Jimmy Fallon. I have a story from Allen Iverson. So, Elle Duncan was, I forget where she was. I think Madison Square Garden, was waiting for Kobe somewhere. She wanted a photo with him. And Kobe was talking to people. And she couldn't take the photo because when Kobe saw her, he immediately started talking to her about her being 8 months pregnant. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God, what are you having? I'm having a girl. Oh, my God, girls are the best, blah, 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 blah. And I'm a girl dad, which is that quote hit hard. A lot of people don't know. My girlfriend was carrying our daughter, and it didn't work out very well. It's to have somebody openly that honest about being a girl dad, and he didn't. Vanessa wanted the boy. Kobe would have had 5 more girls, he said, if Vanessa wanted him.
And have his own basketball team.
Yeah. He didn't want a boy. He wanted He wanted girls. He coached an AAU women's basketball team. I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm sure he had plans to coach semi-pro. College, maybe. Tell me a college that wouldn't have taken Kobe Bean Bryant as their head coach. Male or female basketball.
Right.
Or both. There's not... I hate this picture that we have this selfish, inefficient player that just, that motto that people have, and I don't understand. I never understood it. I even when before any of this happened, I always said it doesn't make sense. If you watch him play, everything he does is for a reason. No. Now, I know everyone's saying, well, how do you Mark Cuban said that no Dallas Maverick will ever wear 24 again. Different player, Spencer Dinwiddie for the Nets has changed his number from 8 to 26. He won't wear number 8 anymore.
I actually said that on 3rd and Long yesterday. Don't be surprised if more players start doing that. So I didn't even know Dinwiddie did it. Okay.
So not only that, it's funny you mentioned that because there was a tweet that surfaced either yesterday or early this morning that players around the league are informally retiring Kobe's numbers. No, they're not going to wear them.
That's what I think will happen. I think it'll be a ripple effect.
I think eventually it'll subside and players out of respect will wear the numbers again. I think just right now, maybe a year or two, they won't do it. The NBA Hall of Fame has said Kobe Bryant's going in this year to the Hall of Fame, which I, you want to talk about a Hall of Fame speech that we were dying to hear, right? Mm-hmm. We talked about it, a few months ago. That speech was going to be something. He was going to call everybody out. And everyone says that and probably gets that monster Kobe in their head. Kobe Bryant was one of the funniest guys to listen to. If you really listen to him, especially post-retirement, the man was funny as hell. He had a comic side. He had a lot of he was funny. I've listened to several podcasts with him. I've listened to several interviews with him. I've listened to him on Jimmy Fallon, Conan O'Brien several hundred times. He's funny. He was not the guy that everyone pictured him out to be. Is he sarcastic and dry? Yeah. Maybe because I get sarcasm? I don't know why. I don't know, but I got it, and I understood, and I thought me and him would have had hysterical conversations. Hysterical. I was dying for him. I really could not wait. And to make this full circle, well, why do you have such this connection with Kobe? Like, what was it about Kobe? So you got to understand that in this time, we are now in the Derek Jeter mantra, right? Like, Jeter is our version of Kobe. 20 years, wanted to be a Yankee, got drafted by the Yankees, worked harder than half the league, more than half the league, due diligence, quiet, leadership, champion, most hits from any Yankee ever. Kobe wanted to be a Laker, got drafted by the Hornets. Jerry West said, I want this kid. The logo, went out and traded for him. Did not play very much his first 3 years in the league. Okay? And everyone's talking about how LeBron passed him. Yeah, congrats. You know what? That's almost an afterthought. And me and my GM, Romaine, talked about this on Sunday afternoon. Do you want to be LeBron right now? I don't. I don't want to be LeBron right now.
Anyone in the NBA right now.
But think about LeBron James put pressure on himself when he said he was the king. And again, I've told this story 100 times. When LeBron got drafted to the Cavs, I was a LeBron supporter. I loved LeBron. I wanted LeBron to succeed. I wanted him to get everything he got. I don't like what happened to him in the middle of his career. I don't know what he was going through. I don't know what happened, but he started moving different. Not on the floor, I mean off the floor. So I was like, Kobe stayed the same way. I'm going to stick with Kobe. And now, to come full circle, I'm looking at LeBron going, this is almost too much. You came to the Lakers to save the dynasty. You traded away half the team to get Anthony Davis. You are running around saying, I'm gonna bring an LA championship, and Laker fans and Yankee fans are very similar. They expect winning. Now, you don't deliver a title? LeBron's gonna, no way. LeBron's gonna have to retire. That's gonna be an absolute disaster of LeBron. LA's mourning now. And Beef said something at the end of the show that I thought was a brilliant point, and I can't believe I said he said it, but when
Mission accomplished.
I never thought I'd say those words in a sentence. But he was wrong, too, in a sense. LeBron always has the I'm going to go get it attitude. The problem that the difference between LeBron and Kobe, that Kobe always had and LeBron didn't have, was Kobe did not care who you were, what you wanted, or what your agenda was. You're not beating me today. LeBron is, my team had a bad night. I didn't, but my team had a bad night, so we'll go back out there and try again. That, if he can just flip the switch to have Mamba mentality for a season, the Lakers will never lose a game the rest of the way. That's just how I feel about that. I mean,
That's easier said than done.
If LeBron James can, and if he stays healthy and he can get that killer instinct of, he's always efficient. I've never said LeBron's not efficient. But if he can get that get out of my way or I'm going to run you over attitude, the league's in trouble. I've been saying the Clippers are the best team in the West. And I still say they are. All these injuries they're having right now, whatever. But also, let's not act like the Clippers don't have a little bit of extra juju, too. Because, let's be real, both LA teams are affected by this. They both play in the Staples Center. And both fans loved Kobe. The Laker-Clipper game was not canceled just for the Lakers. It was canceled because LA was mourning altogether.
Right.
It had nothing to do with just the Lakers.
And their star players grew up there, too. So
Right.
they were idolizing Kobe as well.
Right. Paul George, Anthony Davis. Right.
Kawhi Leonard, too.
Kawhi Leonard, yes. I know a lot of people are trying to figure out how to honor Kobe and how it came full circle. My mom one day was like, hey, I know you needed a book for school. I said, yeah, I do. I was in maybe 3rd, 4th grade. I don't remember what grade I was in, but she brought me home one of those spiral notebooks that had Kobe on the cover. Not Kobe, okay? This is going to be a throwback to some of you kids. Froby, okay? Look up Froby if you don't know what I'm talking about. But it's like Kobe's 2000, 2003 phase. And I got a poster of Kobe in my room since I was like 8, 9. It was always, just Kobe moved different. When he was accused of what he was accused of, I cried hysterically. I said, Kobe's reputation's ruined. It's over. Don't believe me? He didn't get a single MVP vote that year. Didn't finish in the top 15. Look at his stats. Look at the endorsements he lost. You want to talk about somebody that worked hard on the floor? You know how hard he had to work to rebuild that image he had? That's something no one talks about. He was the most hated athlete on the planet until Michael Vick, had the dogfighting scandal. Then it was kind of like, all right, well, I guess we'll move off Kobe and get on Vick. And it kind of, then LeBron came in the league, so it was really just once LeBron got in the league, we're just going to forget about Kobe. But the man worked so hard and did all the right things for so long, it just kind of was like, why? What? A lot of people, I don't want to say forget, but they don't remember that was even a thing. Like Kobe Bryant, people wanted him banned for life. The league was contemplating banning Kobe Bryant for life. A top 18 player of all time was talking about being banned for life. The greatest player of my generation. Sorry, Jordan has the 90s. Bird and Magic share the 80s. Kareem has the 70s. Wilt has the 60s with West. Maybe Bill Russell, whoever you want to throw in there, fine. Kobe has 2000 to 2010. LeBron has 2010 to 2020. That's how I'm marking this up. And I know, everyone's like, oh, stop debating. Kobe wouldn't want you to stop debating. He didn't want you to debate it to begin with. He wanted it to be better than Jordan. Tracy McGrady came out yesterday and said Kobe knew this would happen to him. He knew he'd have an amazing career. He knew that he would pass away young. But that was young Kobe. I'm sure he wasn't the mature state he was in as a father then. But just to know the eerie stories of, Kobe calling this. The man remembered them playing pickup 2 years after, 2 years afterwards in a random interview. He was like, yeah, I beat you 11-3. And McGrady was like, no, you didn't. Kobe was like, no, I beat you 11-3. Listen, I'm going to forget where I was. I might forget what we were playing, but I know I beat you 11-3. Damn. and now, how I said it seems very cool. Laughing, giggling, having a ball. The smile of just, I love life. I know what we're gonna do right now is frowned upon, and Mikey C and Earl will yell at me later. It's fine. I'm ending the show at 10:24. I'd go till 8:24 tomorrow morning, honestly, if I could, but it's just not something I physically or emotionally can do right now. Phil Jackson, I want to hear from. That one's gonna be rough. Kyrie Irving's going to be rough. Tatum released a little bit of a statement, but I want to watch the Shaq thing when I go home. I can't stress enough, though, that we need to not bring up Kobe, the basketball player, today. The planet lost 9 people that will forever be missed. Maybe not by you and I, but everyone's missed by somebody. And I decided on the way here, I was like, you know what? I'm not doing around the world in sports because sports doesn't matter today. Sports never matters. Sports is something that is supposed to be a distraction. But every now and then you have to realize that it's just that, a distraction. It's not the end-all, be-all. It's not your family. It's not work. It's not, well, for some people it's work. But the message that I want everyone to take away from this, if you really want to honor Kobe, okay, you can change the game of horse to Kobe. You can change 21 to 24. You can have him be the logo. You can have this stupid gnat flying around. I think I killed him. I think I got him. You have that stupid gnat flying around. To honor, if you really want to honor Kobe Bryant, you have to figure out what meant the most to him. And he was a family man who loved his women. Vanessa, Natalia, Gianna, Bianca, Capri. Yes, he loved basketball. He wrote the letter, Dear Basketball, to tell the world, I am no longer I will always love basketball, but I'm no longer in love with basketball. He didn't watch a single basketball game until his daughter wanted to go to one. Gigi is the reason Kobe started watching games again. If you have a family, which all of us do, whether it's fractured, whole, divided, if you don't listen to anything else I ever say, if you've never listened to a single word I've ever said, I normally take offense to this, but let's just be real here. If I've ever said it, no one's perfect. No one. If you're gonna, I know Mark Kelly just yelled at me for holding grudges, but he's right. If you really want to honor just anybody, hold them tighter. Don't let them question that you love them. Say hello. Make that phone call. Send that text message. Make the plan to go see somebody. You don't know. I can attest to you. You do not know. Life is fast. Whether it's right, wrong, fair, not fair, it doesn't matter. The fact is the fact that life is fast. If you blink, you might miss it. Yes, I quoted Ferris Bueller, but that was actually...
That's fine. Nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that, but I don't want people thinking I'm trying to make a joke right now. It just happened to flow that way. If you don't listen to anything else I ever say, again, you've never listened to a single... If you're anyone that has ever doubted anything I've ever said, and you think I'm full of crap and everything I say is just some shtick or whatever, listen to this, please. I beg of you. Spend that time with your family. Talk to your family. Reach out to your friends that need help. Make sure that everyone you know is doing well, not fine, okay? If they tell you they're fine, take the extra 5 minutes and figure out what fine means. Fine is not a word that's going to get, again, fine to me is just some code for leave me alone. Fine is not acceptable. If you're some, I don't know our age group, but if you are, you're thinking about going out and your mom and dad are like, stay home. Your mom wants you to stay home and help cook dinner. Your dad wants you to watch the game. Your brother wants you to go to the bar with him and Uber there. Or your sister wants you to, go out to eat with her boyfriend or her brother or whatever. Just do it. Just spend the time with your family. That's the only thing I haven't been able to think straight now for 3 days. Because what if it happens to me? What if I wake up tomorrow and I get a text message saying something happened to one of my family members? You don't know. And that's the part that's scariest to me, is that no one's talking about any of that. Yes, Kobe Bryant is an all-time great. Yes, Kobe Bryant will be one of the best basketball players we've ever seen. Yes, he's a top 5 scorer of all time. Yes, he's an 18-time All-Star, second most ever. Yes, he's won his 2 scoring titles. Yes, he's a 5-time champ. Yes, he's 15 times All-BA, 12-time All-Defense, All-Rookie in 1996 and 1997. 4-time All-Star MVP, 2-time Final MVP, and he won his MVP, and he's been robbed of many more. None of that matters. Because Kobe Bryant, as everyone else has told you for the past 3 days, was most proud of the fact he's a dad and a husband. He's a girl dad. And nothing will ever change that about him.
He said he'd have 5 more.
I don't know. I think the fact that I'm at a loss for words speaks more than... I could talk my way out of a plastic bag.
Just hope it's not the one on your plaque.
Oh, I'd be heartbroken. I'd be heartbroken. But this should make you look at life through a different lens. And everyone's grieving about the fact that Kobe and Gianna, yes, it's a tragedy that Gianna was on the plane. Deep down, I think God knew they'd be happiest together. God works in strange ways. Lost my mom when I was 13 years old. Believe me when I tell you, I feel for all the Bryant family because I can relate to all of them and what they're going through. It's not life, but Kobe lived fearlessly, and if he was afraid, he got over it. And I don't want to there was a funny story that Jimmy Fallon told, but that mood's kind of past, right? So Allen Iverson has told the story about how it was his first trip in L.A., rookie year. He flew out for a game or whatever, and they met up or something of that nature, and Kobe was like, hey, what are you doing tonight? And Allen Iverson was like, I'm going to a bar. Why? What are you doing? Or I'm going out, whatever he said. And Kobe was like, I'm going to go to the gym. And right then and there, you just knew he was different. The man would wake up, shoot 1,000 shots. There was a story told about how Matt Barnes was at UCLA and Kobe had broken his right hand. And Matt Barnes knew that Kobe would go there sporadically and shoot after they had practice. And
this is, what, 2003 or something?
no, it was like 96, 97.
Oh, it was way earlier.
Yeah, it was like his rookie year because he wasn't playing.
Wow, Barnes is
And
older
he was-
than I thought. Okay.
And Kobe his right hand was in a cast. So he went there and he shot thousands of shots left-handed.
Wow.
I ask you this. How many athletes do you know that would have gotten out of bed with a cast on their finger to do anything, first of all, let alone practice with the unbroken hand? For those of you who say any more than 10%, you're lying. The 1%.
It's even that much.
the 1% of the 1% do that. And it's just his whole story is just, he said that his dad sat him down one day and said that I don't care if you score 40 points or no points, I'll always love you. Kobe said that right there gave me all the recognition I needed to know that it's okay if I fail, because if I fail, I have nothing to lose. So I just got to put the work in. And a lot of people told Kobe not to go to the draft. And Kobe didn't even know what he was going to do. It was down to Duke or North Carolina. My gut feeling, knowing what I know about Kobe and knowing how the kind of how he answered the question, I think he would have gone to Duke. He might as well have gone to Duke. because he didn't play his first 2 years in the league very much. He didn't really play until the lockout season, 98, 99, and that's only because the guy in front of him got hurt and the guy in front of him got hurt or didn't want to play. So it's just I feel like I've repeated myself this whole time, but I've been prepping this show in my head for 2 days. I wanted to meet him. I wanted to tell him, you are this generation's Jordan. I wanted him to just know that, you know, he's not the GOAT. He's the Mamba. And I think, again, the lives that you look at, the people that he was surrounded, college coach, another young woman coach that was highly intelligent in her own right. And then, of course, Gianna's friends and family were on that plane because they were all her teammates. The two 13-year-olds that were also on that plane. And this is something that's not going to go away overnight. This is not something that's going to heal over a day. And this is going to be something that takes months to process, years to get over. And in society, okay, we need to be better. And that's what I've been kind of trying to figure out, like how do I make this place better? And I don't mean this place is in worldwide sport. What does this network mean in the grand scheme of things? We're just people. We're just people that work. We're just people that want to bring you guys sports news and entertain you. That's what we like to do. But does it make the world a better place? No, we don't. Some of us make the world a worse place. I've been wrapping my mind, man, for days. There has to be an answer. There has to be. The easy thing to do is to get angry and just hold all that in. And if you're anybody that knows anyone that was affected by this tragedy, just please. I mean, we have right now. We have CPS being questioned and the system failing children I wish I could tell you why that life works that way. I wish I had that answer. Because I have everyone else. I just don't know this one.
This one probably won't be solved for a while, unfortunately.
Just to make a little bit of a joke, at 10:26, Mookie Betts is probably going to get traded.
That's what always happens.
This show's no talk. You want to talk about mad? When I found out I had to wait till Tuesday to do this, I was slightly relieved, but also very just anxious because I didn't know how. I'm just trying to see if anyone. Just so everyone knows, like, I'm not joking around. I had to write the post for my job today. So our post, our Twitter, our dealership is very proactive and stuff, and I'll get yelled at for talking about the dealership. I don't really care. But we're very, me and the GM, we were Kobe guys. Like, we're one of the minuscule amount of people that think Kobe is, like, the second greatest player of all time. So, you know.
Bring him to the NBA store.
Yeah. No, he doesn't want, he wouldn't come here today because he doesn't want to agree with me. He wants to come here and literally, like, tear the place down with me. So, you know, I'll give him his wish one day. But you think I'm aggressive? This guy's more aggressive than I am. He's out there, and we don't agree on anything. But
one man you agree on.
yeah, no, that's the weirdest part because but I wrote it and we posted it on Instagram and Twitter and no, we posted it on Instagram and Facebook. I posted it on Twitter for myself, but my tweet to Kobe's like 5 tweets long. And I wasn't even done. I couldn't type anymore. I just could not process texting anymore. Typing. I just had to.
It's definitely a thread you could have gone on for a while. Really, I could tell that meant something.
You know how many times I erase something and go back?
The edit feature.
No.
Soon to come to Twitter sometime in the next 5 years. Who knows when.
When I stop tweeting. I don't get it. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I wish I got it, but I don't. All I can tell you is what to take away from this. And if there's any relationship that you're kind of, hey, I hated you for so long, or I was so angry at you for so long, just reach out and be like, hey, we don't have to be friends. I forgive you. Hey, I missed you. Hey, something. I don't. I mean, needless to say, right? Like Kobe's in. Like I'm going to enshrine Kobe in the Worldwide Sports Hall, the Homestretch Hall of Fame. I always do that. It's not the Worldwide Sports. It's my Hall of Fame. Because no one else has the originality to do a goddamn Hall of Fame. But it's fine. Because, that's more of a feather in my cap. But I'll be honest with you. You hit it on the nose. It's not just a sports thing. He wrote or was writing children's books. He was going to make more films. He was going to change women's basketball. How many people were up in arms a few years ago about how the WNBA doesn't make any money? The biggest advocate for the WNBA getting a raise was Kobe Bean Bryant. Because he wants his daughters to not feel like they, if you love basketball, go play basketball.
Yeah. Those athletes are all supportive of him, too, from across the WNBA. I think yesterday I was scrolling through things. One of the most emotional interviews was Diana Taurasi.
Oh, the first women's coach in the NBA. Mm-hmm. And the Niners coach.
Katie Sowers, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. To hear Doc Rivers and to hear... We haven't heard from LeBron yet, so when we hear from LeBron, I'm sure it'll be something else. I don't, it was a sad day, and, I do want to kind of start wrapping this up, because, this was, the show must go on, right? But we just lost one of the major stars in it.
Of everything, really.
And I haven't. It's more the man that I think people need to really. Everyone kept talking about, and I was so like, why is everyone just talking about the basketball guy? But the basketball guy, he was so okay with being not the basketball guy anymore. He would fly from practice to go home to pick his daughters up from school because he knew that 20-minute ride would not make up, but that 20-minute ride that they had from the school back to home was kind of his way of being okay when they had to go to the East Coast or Canada or down south. Sometimes he would fly from a game home, stay an extra day, fly to the game, and then fly back home, depending on where they were.
I believe it.
I'm sure I've missed a lot of stuff I wanted to talk about. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't plan anything. I was gonna write stuff down, but I enjoy doing this kind of off the cuff, off the top of my head. I feel like it's more genuine that way. I feel like it's harder to. If I
It's more heartfelt.
Well, not even I do everything. Do you know how many times I have a debate here and I have no idea? Like, I don't have the stats in front of me. I don't have anything. I don't plan on it. It just happens. And to me, I was going to write a sentence. I was going to write it down. And why would I do that now? So I did this the only way I know how to do it. And I hope, if you bear through this whole thing, I hope it makes sense. I hope I wasn't a babbling idiot. I'm sure 2 or 3 years from now I'll want this to be kind of... I can't even digest any of the words I'm saying. But I do know how I want to end this show. And I screwed up because I forgot during the break to let Speedy know how I wanted to end the show. So there's going to be a little bit of a wake-up here. The only way I could possibly end this show and feel like I kind of represented Kobe Bryant to the fullest of my knowledge and ability is if, and I never do this, ever. And I don't know if you remember the joke I had here. I said, no one will ever get the final word on me. Do you remember that conversation?
The one you had with Carragher you're talking about?
But when I first got here, me and Mike would keep arguing, and I would yell, see ya, just so he wouldn't be the last thing people heard. That's really why I did it. Mm-hmm. And it just kind of stuck because it was probably the most entertaining part of the show. But, sorry, Mike, I apologize. That was uncalled for. So Guido just punched a wall. But I feel like having the last word is a sign of, like, affirmation. Like, you were wrong. Here's why. Goodbye. We're going to end this show. I'm not saying see you tonight. Oh, maybe I will. I don't know. But I'm not ending the show with it. We're going to end the show with the man that one day should have been on this show. And I guarantee you I would have picked his brain like no one else ever has. And that's why it's upsetting to me, because I really, really thought I was going to have that chance. And it breaks my heart to say that I won't. But there's only one way that Kobe likes saying goodbye. And I want everyone to know right now that this is not him saying goodbye. This is him saying we'll see you soon, and I hope that when Kobe puts his post move on God, he doesn't break his ankles, because it's the best move I've ever seen. And so before I start crying again, could you just look up when he says Mamba out after his farewell game, and I'll try to babble on until it loads. But again, my heart, my I know I have a reputation here being the loud asshole, okay? And some of it's true. I'm not perfect all the time. And I have changes that I would like to make, but nobody's perfect, and I think I'm just as imperfect as everybody else. But my heartfelt condolences and my sincerest apologies to Kobe's daughters, Natalia, Capri, and Bianca. His wife, Vanessa. The world has no idea what you're going through. And I'm terribly sorry. And this was hard for all of us. But nothing compares, again, to what you guys are going through and to the lives, the family of everyone that lost someone on Sunday. I am very sorry. We will be here tomorrow, and we'll try to talk about sports tomorrow. Hopefully, there's a important something, just anything. I kind of want Mookie Betts just to get traded, so that's something we could talk about. The big news today was Nick Castellanos going to the Reds, right? Doesn't put a dent in what happened on Sunday. It's a bad sign for a bad team. But we're here every day, 8 to 10, or till whenever I feel like going home, really. But again, hold your family, and never take family for granted, or friends, whatever you consider your close-knit circle. Don't ever, ever forget how important they are, because life is fast. Life is very fast. And it's not fair, and it's not predictable, and you don't know when anything will happen. And let me guess, it's way past 10:24. Damn it. Shit. God damn it. God. I saw you doing the thumbs up, too. I was like, yeah, okay, great. He's found it. All right, I was like, shit. He wanted me to shut up. Oh, well. It's not fair to not let Speedy have his saying. So, Speedy, tell them where they can find us.
Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, on our website at worldwidesportsradio.com. And one of only... I know you're probably not in the mood to say it today.
I mean, I wanted to say 24.
Well, it's the average of 8 and 24. We are one of only 16, the average of 8 and 24.
Jesus Christ.
Sports radio networks and podcasts on radio.com.
Jesus Christ. Oh, Kobe did it again. That's some crazy shit. Oh, man. That's nuts. Wow. That's insane. Thank you to the B for coming. Thank you for Mark Kelly for calling in and just taking the time. I know, it means a lot when Mark Kelly calls. If I'm going to listen to anyone around here, it's going to be him and Errol. So, just me. And again, I can't stress this a lot. I really want this message to be loud and clear. Please. Be safe. Please. Just be, please. Please. Just be safe and do whatever it is you have to do to make sure that you ensure your loved ones that you love them for this day and at this time. Because you don't know what's going to happen around the corner. And Speedy, I'm sure you have something similar or different or anything to say.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. Never take anything for granted. Never, like Mike was saying earlier, never stress out about the little things too much. And again, just try to unite with everybody that you can and embrace every relationship, whether personal, professional, family, anything like that. Embrace everything that you have to the fullest. Embrace all your desires to the fullest, and your life and everyone else's life will be more positive for you as a whole. And that is something that Kobe Bryant taught us very well. You have to work for everything you want, but you will succeed if you put in that work and you put in that desire.
That was perfect.
Thank you.
Well, I guess you can have your saying, and then I'll try to find a unique way to close the show, but
right.
I don't know how the hell I'm going to do this.
Thanks for listening. Again, live your life the most positive way you can. And one way to do that is having a glorious night.
Kobe, one day I'll see you again. Or I'll see you, period, I guess. I can't say again. But we're going to have this conversation one day. And you're going to sign this plaque for me. You're definitely going to sign that plaque for me. And, yeah. I'm going to do this the only way I know how. And we'll be back tomorrow. But it's only fitting that the start of the show closes it out, right? See ya.
What can I say? Mamba out.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.